Welcome back to Paps GreenHouse Garden. We're here in Pennsylvania. We got a northeaster coming, snow. But instead of being up in the greenhouse, we're going to try our hand at our version of Tuscan, Seafood Tuscan. We got all the ingredients here. I want to give a good shout out to Emergency Getaway. They're doing a fabulous job with their videos. You should go check it out. We started out this morning with kombucha. We made some apple ginger honey kombucha. We're on our second ferment. Had to throw that out there. We got some fabulous shrimp that is wild caught, and it is here in the U.S. Clams, fresh beet leaves, and spinach. Usually you just use spinach. We're going to use some beet leaves in there. Also, we got our wine to steam everything, some heavy cream. We're even going to try some sun-dried tomatoes, use some of the oil out of that. Homemade stewed tomato basil. We're going to toss that in there along with garlic and onions. Let's see what happens. You never know. Let's have at it. Saute some onions and garlic. Throw them in the pan. Garlic. We're just using canned garlic, bottled garlic. Nice big open thing of garlic. We better put two in. There's no special recipe. We don't have a special recipe. We just kind of go with what we got. Nothing fancy. Let's saute that up. Decided to use a cast iron because I think this is going to be kind of a large batch, if you will. Turn some heat down a little bit. Let that saute up a minute. So we got our onions. They're translucent. We got the garlic and everything in there. A little bit of oil. We're going to add our organic grape wine from California. Let that handle in there a little bit. This will be steaming the clams and the shrimp up. We'll bring that up to temp. Alcohol will burn off, so if you're alcoholic, dump a little more in. I'm kidding. So wine and everything coming up to temperature. Onions and everything. Oh, that looks like it might need just a little bit more. I'm just saying. There we go. That's enough. That'll do. We're going to add our shrimp, and then we're going to give that till they turn a nice pink. And I cut these up to a nice little bite size instead of having the whole big shrimp. That way you get a bite with your pasta and everything. Get a nice bite with your pasta and everything. Get a nice bite of shrimp. So we'll give that a second. And then after that, we'll introduce our clams. I did add a tad bit of water so we could steam the clams. I'm going to add this kind of pat of butter. I'm going to add that right in the middle. Then we're going to throw our little neck clams in here. Scatter them around inside there. Put them on like a medium heat. These are going to steam in here till they open. Let's grab, I don't have a lid for this big cast iron pan, so I'll use this big thing. We'll throw that right on there and let them steam. I got my water going here. Started the water for our pasta. We didn't make any pasta. We'd like to get into making our own pasta, which would be really fun. This is a Durham flour and eggs. That's pretty much it. That's what they make this pasta from. It'd be lovely. It's going to be a nice addition to our meal. So a quick recap. We had a glitch. Our clams opened up after 15 minutes. We added tomato basil, fresh tomato basil, stewed tomato basil. We added some sun-dried tomatoes and oil. And we had some cherry tomato pieces we threw in there. We're going to let that go. As that's going on, the wife and I actually we talked about the pasta. The wife and I actually went to Italy thanks to Emergency Getaway. They actually hooked us up because they were a travel agent. They hooked us up to go to Italy. We went on the Amalfi Coast and learned how to make pasta at a farm there. That was such a fun time. So if you learn how to make your pasta with durum and eggs, that's all they used. That was it. There was nothing else. So we're going to finish this up. All the clams have opened up. They look really, really good. Everything's coming to temperature. One nice thing with cast iron, these little things right here on the handle, I'm telling you, they are wonderful to have. You will burn your fingers if you don't, because that handle gets hot. So meanwhile, I got the water going here. I got a little bit of salt in there. We're going to turn the temperature up so we can get our pasta going. And then we'll finish it off with, matter of fact, I'll do that right now. We'll do a little bit of pepper. Just sprinkle whatever you think in there. And then we're going to do a little bit. We don't have kosher salt, so I am going to sprinkle a little bit of sea salt in here. Not a whole bunch, and we'll season the taste when it's all through and said and done. The next ingredient will be our spinach and beet leaves. And then we got our heavy cream just to thicken things up real nice. And then we'll put that in a bowl and throw our ingredients right on top of this wonderful pasta. Well, here we are back. We got our pasta in. We got some seasoning going on here. We're going to take a handful of these beets leaves and spinach. Put that over top. Let's turn the heat up just a bit. Maybe a little more in there. A little bit on the floor. Down there on the floor. We'll put a little more in there. And then we got our heavy cream. Pasta is about 4 minutes with this pasta. We're going to do some heavy cream in here. Maybe half of this, possibly. About half. Maybe 3/4. We'll see how that goes. We'll bring it up to temperature. We'll bring that up to temperature. We'll see what happens. Pasta, we'll let set for a couple minutes. We'll catch up. Here we are back at Paps GreenHouse Garden. We had a little mishap. So things were cooked a little too long, but that's what Tanqueray and tonic does. Tanqueray and tonic with extra lime. You gotta have it while you're cooking. So anyway, I pulled the clams out. And then we're going to serve the pasta. We're going to put a big clump of pasta in there. Another big clump of pasta. This was for the wife, so hers is going to be bigger. I'm kidding. Very good. And then we'll take some of our shrimp. And all that good, lovely stuff in there, along with some of this Tuscan juice. A whole bunch of Tuscan juice. And then we'll throw a bunch of these clams back in here. I mean, we got a lot of clams. We got like 24 clams here. This bowl is probably too small for this. But anyway, that gives you an idea. And then we're going to do a little bit of cilantro on top. Just a sprinkle of cilantro right there. And then we got some fresh Parmesan. This has probably been a few weeks old, but as far as I know, Parmesan does not go bad. So we'll put a little bit of that over top without grinding my skin into the dish. kidding. A little bit of that, you never know, because there's tomatoes in there, so a little bit of blood or whatever. I'm kidding. But there is that dish. That is fabulous. It might need a little more juice in there. Let's put a little bit more of that over top. We're good. See you next time. We're going to go for a little walk and a smoke in this nor'easter right after that Tuscan dinner. It's actually beautiful out. I gotta put my hood up, that's for darn sure. Take some of these shells out and dump them in the garbage. What do you think of the wife's hat though? Isn't that beautiful? That's a nice hat. So, greenhouse, got some light on, going on. And we'll take a nice walk in this lovely northeaster that's on our way. I mean, the trees are like full of snow. Why not? Let's do it. Where's your wife? Where's she at? Oh my goodness. So here we are. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.